I'm that girl who overcame her fear of heights. Yay, facing fears, never easier, never been easier. Fantastic, right? So empowering to know thyself. And so when I did that channeling yesterday, I had no idea about the that community's big suicide rate. Ugh, you know, it's going to be everywhere, unfortunately, right? And that is going to trigger a lot of people to think about the cycles of death, and how significant each and every day is, how we mustn't take our friends and family for granted, how we must constantly show them how much they mean to us. Even if there are some choices that they're making, recently or even the last few years or whatever, that don't really inspire us to reach out to them, it's not a good enough excuse, really, to not. Right? Sending them a love letter, sending them a love note, or if they're just too toxic and you just cannot honestly ever do that, or maybe they've passed on, or something, you've lost so much touch that they are, you don't even know where they're at. This is why it's so important to do that 15-minute white light meditation where you are using your free will to heal all, to love all, and to empower all. It's quite significant, right? Quite an important thing for you that you're doing for your day, is to surrender and knowing source energy. You can feel how powerful that source energy is when you're listening to that, because you're allowing yourself to be open, to be fully relaxed, not distracted with anything, and fully absorb all of that high frequency. Can you see how significant that would be? And when we choose to do it regularly, to be able to remind ourselves how profoundly powerful we are, holding profound energy. We're like little batteries right now, aren't we? Profound, go, 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 never ending batteries that we love to be recharged and recharged and recharged and full, 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 and always just on the go, right? We are little energy, jazz handsing love bugs, because we love all our labels. So there's that. So it's super significant to do that. And if you can't, for some whatever reasons, just cannot like personally reach out to those people, make sure you put them in that love bubble and that pyramid of white light and love them, love them, love them. Because guess what? While they're in that little love bubble of white light, they can't argue with you. They can't tell you that you're conspiracy theory, whatever they love to blame and label people as, right? They're actually disarmed, prickly cactuses when you have invited them in energetically to be loved, right? So don't exclude those. They're very important. They need your love. They will feel it too. Because while our teams are in a different dimension, loving everyone as well, we sort of have this more tangible frequency that can actually be felt quite profoundly. Right. So they are connected in with us, just like you're connected in with me and I'm connected in with you. We're all one. We may dismiss it. We may distract ourselves from it. But when they are looking back at all of their life contracts and reviews, and they look and they see all the times that you just kept sending love to them rather than that bitter resentment or frustrations of how dare they be still asleep, they're just dragging down humanity. They'll feel whatever you're thinking about them. And so we must be able to get over our hurts, stop taking it so personally, and still be the mature, responsible one to send love, 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 love. And, and I'm sure you're doing it very diligently. And this is why it seems like a lot of us volunteers are working amongst the people, right? We are, even if you don't have a paid job, but you just seem to Miranda around malls or just go for big drives or do something, chances are just those things that you just think, oh, that's not, I'm just sitting in the car by myself. I'm not being of service. You are, my friends. So, really revalue what you're actually doing, because while they sort of say love each other, you just having love in your heart and wanting the best for everyone to release this density, that is profound. But it seems like some people choose to be really resentful to humanity for them being here. I mean, that's a choice. But remember why we are here. it's not for humanity to see that we're a big deal in another planet, in another universe, in another lifetime. It's never been about that, ever. It was about us being here to help them release their density. And it's not about being recognized or even having gratitude for our roles that we're playing. It's not none of that. It's actually silent, hard work to love each other. And that's it. It's so simple. But yet, so many of us have resentments or something that kind of limits us and holds us back from just completely surrendering and holding on to high frequency vibrations from source and sharing it. All right. Sometimes people don't even know if they want to share that high frequency. I've experienced quite a few healers in sessions being told by their subconscious they're not even sharing that energy that they're calling on to provide healing for their clients. They're holding it back. They say the healing, they're doing all the woo-woo words and all the woo-woo hands and maybe even the woo-woo light language, but they are not sharing. Now, the client doesn't know that. They think, oh, this is really expensive. It must be fantastically working. I'll trust that. And so they have that hope, that trust. And so they will assume they have got healing. There is a difference between assuming you've got healing versus actual healing. But if you believe in it so much and you accept it and you think, great, now I'm healed. I wanted to be healed so much. I have to feel better now because I'm healed. That will alone actually create that healing or give it an opportunity to. So we can't judge the fake healers, but we know that they could be better, right? We know everyone could be better. We know that we could fully maintain this high frequency and share it out. They can feel it in our hearts. They can feel it in our smiles. They can feel it in our compassion with our eyes. They can feel our integrity. And so just like with those people that are resistant and reluctant to give anything of themselves, including their time, their efforts, and their energy, those people feel very dense and bitter. It's weird because you can feel that they've got the potential to be really big energy field, but what they choose to fill in with their energy battery is not uplifting. And so that only impacts them and the others around them. And we can observe it and know that that is a choice that they're making. And we certainly do not need to judge them for it, but we need to be honest about what they're doing, not necessarily to themselves. They aren't even being honest to themselves. So why should we tell them? But it's an interesting one, right? When do we tell our full truth to other people? And how do we deliver that? Because some people are so sensitive to being called out for their choices, they don't like to be held responsible for limiting themselves and others. So there's that. So anyway, I wanted to explore that fear that I was having with the heights. And so as they sort of mansplain to us with much love, mortified to think that they judge my dancing skills as being not so elegant, but that's cool. I do know that I had to work on it. And now I can really understand why I was so frustrated with the expression that I wanted with my body wasn't the same as what my expression with my heart and my soul was doing and singing with the energy. So that I was feeling with music. So it makes complete sense now. Thank you. Thank you. Such a hard thing to hear. It was, and I really appreciated actually hearing it. But I had to be sort of triggered into feeling that fear again, running up those stairs, walking up those stairs, let's be honest. To feel like, oh gosh, that's that sense again. And I forgot about that sense. And it's interesting because I only ever have it when I'm in water, when I'm going to water, when I'm in a water park and I'm climbing up lots of stairs to go down a water slide. So, I wanted to figure out, well, it can't be another lifetime here, right? Since I don't have any for myself and I had it as a younger age. Now I know the time when my walk-in came in. So, I couldn't factor in that. So I had to figure out, well, what else was going on there? And so I can feel my walk-in saying that his soul essence is Palladian, but he had Arcturian guides. That's interesting. Okay. You do you. Anyway. Do I really need to know all of that sort of stuff, though, is what I'm sort of thinking and feeling, because I'm just, trying to focus on now and today. Anyway, so walking up these stairs again and having this sort of sense of, and not anxiety, I can't even express it, fear. It was just, it's a lot, right? And this is what, and so anyway, I explored it, and they sort of said, not trusting the body, which I can really relate to, because I would be walking to school and often like really badly sprain my ankle. And it was weird because I just thought I was just walking along and then I would sprain it. Ouch, I just was walking. I sprained my ankle, but I was just so absent-minded. I wasn't even aware that as I was walking, I fully twisted my ankle, walked on it, fully embraced it because I didn't see an uneven path. And I was like, I was just walking. I'm an innocent victim. How can I sprain my ankle when I was just walking? Okay, well, the thing was, I did sprain my ankle and I wasn't consciously aware of even the ankle being rolled and walking on it, because I just wasn't focusing on the body. I was so elsewhere, right? So it makes a lot of sense, but boy, painful, right? So, okay, so part of it was just me knowing that I still didn't really know to use the vehicle. I mean, this is way back then. Yesterday, I could face my fear and realize I'm not in danger here. And so I actually overcome it and had to use the old monkey mind to go settle down. It's safe. My kids are here. I wouldn't let my children do anything that wasn't safe. So I had to kind of really manually, correct my, my body's assumptions and my mind's assumptions, warning, 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 danger. So there's that. So what they were saying was, and then they showed me, because they're like scanning through like your life, like it's a, I don't know, it's a, I don't even know how I would sort of like describe it, but it's all this data in this lifetime, right? And so they were just scanning through, and they're like, well, no, there's no deaths. You didn't die from a fall. And so they were just sort of like scanning through, and then they sort of said, it's about, you'll disconnect with your body, blah, 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 blah. And then I could feel them still sort of scanning through to see if there was anything else that would like explain it, sort of like, a different, a more of a perception of what's going on there for the soul. And then they just were like, oh yeah, this other time when you were in a craft and you were shot down by humans. And I was like, oh, this isn't something I've ever explored before. And I kind of was like, well, get on with it, like it's still our holiday, for the family. So, I don't know if I want to like explore too much of that, because honestly, when you like open up a lifetime, it's like opening up a can of worms, it's like, oh, wow, all of this other stuff that, you got to kind of, once you do these sessions, you'll understand that when you get given information, usually there's a lot more questions that follow. So then it's like, I'm not really a really desperately detailed person. It's like, okay, I just accept that I'm still here. I need to focus on today and tomorrow, moving forward, and preparing people for emotionally coping with the shifts and what that looks like, and emotionally preparing people to cope with the old earth, remembering their purpose and their missions to be here, to be of service. Right. That's my main sort of drive and priority. And so sometimes I may be like, oh, look, distractions. But I always feel like, no, focus. So maybe there's that as well. So I got a very distinct impression that I was in a craft with two others. So there was three of us, and we were flying over a large country. And this was quite some time ago. And yes, we got caught, and we were fired at. And our bodies died and our bodies were taken. Really interesting, but I was like, I'm not interested in exploring that today. It's just like I just wanted my answers about the flight, my fear of heights. So yeah, it does explain. I'm happy with the information about my how my body isn't really connected in with my mind, and that the vehicles, the vehicles can do something weird, right? I sort of think sometimes it's like what is those out of control carts? And, we're just the drivers, and those out of control carts can go so fast sometimes, and they're really discoordinated. And we're just these little, these little soul essences, that are bigger, that do belong to bigger parts of bigger soul essences, but we're just a small fragment of self here in these meat suits and these monkey suits, and living the best 3D lives that we can, right? And there is, for most of us, an actual job that we're doing here, an actual role. We're not here to just be naive to the ways of the world. We're actually supposed to know exactly what's happening to this world and why, and actually be assistants on the ground. So there's that. And so, yeah, very interesting what sort of pours out of sessions. And this is why it's so important to have your own sessions. Interns are free. And also, if there is any other practitioners that are not recommending that you have sessions, free sessions with interns, just try them. Like a good practitioner shouldn't be hustling for money, and not trying to just sell you just getting their sessions with them, right? A good practitioner desperately loves humanity so much they want everyone to have these sessions, regardless of whether it's with them or not. And, a good practitioner shouldn't be charging the earth. Also, there's that. So a good practitioner truly, truly, truly cares about their clients more than money and more than their own ego. So there's that. And also, if other people, like if anyone is telling you, don't do meditation right now. Okay, we're so close to the shift. Don't do meditation right now. The galactics don't want you to go into deep meditation right now because it's just, a significant time. We're about to shift. Can you tell them to go fuck themselves with their ego and bullshit from me with love? Because it's getting beyond a joke now. If someone's telling you not to meditate and not to go within and not to have a quantum session yourselves, warning, 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 wake up, people, wake up to their agenda. What collective does that remind you of that wouldn't want to help and empower you to go within, to not do any of your own inner work, to not be prepared for what's to come? I mean, that's all cool if you're in that collective too, and you need to have those extremely hard experiences to be in full shock and awe because you've believed an influencer who says we all just shift together and it's all with the bodies and there's no trauma, no one dies. It's all just sunshine and rainbows, and it's a Disney version of something, something, something that they're trying hard to sell you. Be careful with people who try to tell you to not go within, because that is literally the opposite. We are supposed to meditate. We are supposed to go within. We're supposed to trust ourselves. And we're not supposed to trust other people right now who are telling us we don't need to do any inner work. But, if you don't want to do any work, you don't want to be responsible for your own shit, and you don't want to be responsible for your life purpose and mission, and you don't want to be responsible for how you conduct yourselves energetically, I can see how that could be a really attractive person to follow. 100%, right? Oh, I take the easy option, thanks. But you know what? While you're taking the easy option, there's always going to be accountability. And when we're doing our life reviews, are you going to be like, oh shit, I hope no one checks out my life review, it's a bit embarrassing? Or are you going to be someone like, hey, look, I was on earth, dense as motherfucking anything. And look, I still was of service. Just saying, like, how are we going to, of course I'm not going to be ego that dorky when we've shifted, right? We're going to be humble as and very neutral and very balanced, but we also going to know all our choices, and that's significant for our own soul's growth and journey, right? When you can master a third dimension planet like this, you've got so much more options to be of service and do other things and be ready. And so, it's all very purposeful, my friends. So there's that. Oh, and another thing, for any of you who find themselves with their ears bleeding after hearing my such big potty mouth, the problem is this, okay? I feel more than the words can describe. And so I don't have a vocabulary that could truly express in perfect statement how I feel about certain things. There's no words to translate my feelings about the ways of the world. And it's so frustrating and limiting. It's like we all know the primary colors, but what I'm feeling into is not primary colors. It's not primary emotions. It's deeper than that. And so I am lazy with trying to figure out how to express my feelings in translatable, respectable English. So if I could ask for your forgiveness if you are so offended that I express myself with swears. This is just the way I express myself. And if it helps you to respect me and my translations and my expressions more, swearing is my first language. Okay, so English is my second language. So we know we can't judge people who are, not first speaking English people, right? So there's that. But I try not to censor myself anymore. I try to be as real and honest as possible so I can figure out what's going on for me and where my sticking points are. And the other day I listened back to a session that I did talking about the cat with the bird, and I misspoke and I said the bird brought in the bird. And I just thought, no, I didn't. Like, what was I? Do I just like think and not speak? Do I speak and not think? Yeah, most of the time. But it sort of bothered me. I was like, God, what did I say there? I knew Buster the cat brought in the bird. What was going on there? And then I just felt into it more. Buster was a bird. And this is a life contract that he has. And that those birds that did die was a cat. So, animals have life contracts. Animals have karma. Animals are, they're having their own respectful life contracts that we don't have privy to in all lazy assumptions of good and bad and, naughty animals and good animals and blah, 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 right? We don't judge the animal kingdom for surviving. Sometimes we do, right? And then that's kind of, Mr. Judgy Pants comes on, and we shouldn't be Mr. Judgy Pants. Before we reach Mr. Judgy Pants, we should think, okay, what are those life contracts there? And if it isn't part of their life contracts, then do we put on the Judgy Pants? No, because there's still lessons and experiences. And if something has been allowed like that, say an exit point, that the teams and their collectives and their guides have agreed upon it, right? At this point, they're really watching us very closely and making sure that we have all our experiences that are necessary given the time that we have left here. So if you have an animal, or a human that needs to have big experiences here still to learn and overcome and master the 3D and this dimension, this density and all of these factors and components, because not every 3D, well, let's just say most 3D planets are not like this. The cultures aren't the same. The bodies aren't the same. There's a whole lot of stuff that's quite different in different 3D planets. So anyway, there's that. Explore things in sessions, my friends. Don't be shy. Definitely reach out to your interns. Why don't you also, if you are tight for money, and I respect that. Why don't you still just email those first levels, ones? Reach out to those level ones in your communities and just ask how they're going. They may find that now that they're charging, they're not getting as many clients as they were hoping to get. So maybe you could discuss with them and negotiate potentially a donation, or ask them how many clients. Well, I know that you had to do 25 for interns, because I know a lot about interns by now, right? You're masters at understanding what interns are. Asking a level one, out of those 25 interns sessions, how many did you get under? They're going to be like, oh God, I don't want to tell them, only 5. Shit. None of your business. They may say, and then sort of say, I'm really loving these sessions. I'm very open to these sessions, and I would love to do some sessions with you to help you. If you're a second wave volunteer or first wave or third wave volunteer, let them know this. If you've had other sessions with interns and they were successful and good, and that you can, fully release and surrender in, chances are those level one people would love to take a chance with you, right? Spend some hours with you to master their own skill sets. And if they're charging, and they're still a little bit humble or a little bit unsure with their confidence of how to really master these sessions because they just, worked with 3 friends and, it didn't really go that well, still reach out to them, my friends. Just see, even if you just do a little love letter and just hoping that they're doing well. And, epic times ahead, right? We're here. And have you read The Three Waves of Volunteers in the New Earth by Dolores Cannon by any chance? And have you heard any recent information about the New Earth? And what does that look like? Anyway, we're not trying to troll the interns or the level ones. We love them. We support them. We know that they have probably got a great connection with Dolores. Dolores has recommended and pushed a lot of people to do this work because they know of how capable they are. So there's that. Anyway, my friends, love you. Have a fantastic week. Enjoy your water that you've infused with love. Enjoy your love bubbles. Try to meditate and heal yourself in the world just as a hobby in the weekends. No pressure. But, you do you in all sincerity. Do what gives you joy, inner peace, and, empower yourselves. You guys deserve it.